In this video, I made authentic Caribbean Johnny cake. They turned out to be super tasty, so make sure to like the video and subscribe and leave a comment, tell me what you thought. So I started off by following this dough. I'll leave the recipe for the dough in the description. It's just flour, sugar, salt, water, and butter, baking powder, and that's it. And I made a whole bunch of it like a month ago, and it's really easy. It's in the description, and I just thought that the day before I made this. So basically, what you have to do is you have to knead it. And in my case, the dough was really sticky, so you have to be quick with it because then it'll stick to your hands. But if your dough does turn out too sticky, then just add some more flour. It'll be fine. And if it turns out too dry, just add some more water. So basically, I formed it into a ball. I know you can't really see. I'm sorry for the camera angle, but I formed it into a ball and then I sort of pressed it out a little bit, to make it like a flat puck, a little bigger than a hockey puck, way thinner than a hockey puck, but like, yeah. And so you can see it's on the plate, and I'm just letting my oil heat up, and I'll just make the Johnny cake individually. So here I put a chopstick into the oil. That's how you tell if the oil is heated up, because you need to take something wooden, like a wooden spoon or a chopstick or something like that, and put it in the oil. And once it starts bubbling, it'll be like little tiny bubbles. It'll look like foam. Once you do that and it starts bubbling, then you'll know the oil is ready. So here, I'm actually using the chopstick again, and I see that it's bubbling. I'm making sure because sometimes when there's little tiny bubbles, it's not hot enough, and I'm just making sure that it's bubbling good enough. And once I see that it is, I take the chopstick out, and then I start. So I take my first Johnny cake and make sure that it's even, right, and then you lay it in the oil. And if you see that bubbling, you want to make sure the bubbles are good sizes. You don't want them to be too big or else the inside won't cook. But those are good sizes right there. Good size bubbles. So as you can see, it's frying, it's bubbling, it's getting cooked, and you want to make sure that you have enough oil. You don't want too much oil or else it could be very dangerous. But you don't want to like pan fry it. You want to be like a shallow fry, like probably an inch or maybe 2 inches high. So here I'm just placing the Johnny cake in, and yeah, letting them fry. That one was probably way too big, but you don't want a Johnny cake to be too big or too thick, or else it will cause a mess. Also, make sure not to overcrowd the pan. I did that, but it's fine. They still turned out good. But try not to overcrowd the pan because you don't want raw dough sticking to cooked dough, and it's just a whole thing that you don't want to happen. So yeah. So these probably took around 5 to 8 minutes to cook on the first side. You want to make sure that they're a nice golden color. You don't want them to be too brown, and you don't want the oil to be too hot because, as I said before, it will not cook the inside. So you want to take a spider, I think they call it. It's a wide spoon with holes in it. I use that spoon every time because when you take the Johnny cake out, you don't want it to be swimming in oil. So you use that spoon to flip them and to take them out. And I think I let these cook for another 3 minutes. As you can see, the Johnny cake are nice and golden brown. That's what you want, but you don't want them to be golden brown too fast, or else the inside will not cook. And then you can just go back to forming the rest of your balls and flattening them out as they cook. That's a great way to do it because most of the time is unattended, like the cooking time is unattended. So you just do that, and yeah. So here's the first Johnny cake I took out. As you can see, it's golden brown on both sides. You lift it up with the slotted spoon. I did not shake it off well enough, so that's why I flipped it over, because hot oil, you don't want that to get soggy. So I hit it with a little bit of salt, like not too much. You hit it with a little bit of salt on top, and I did that with the rest. Hit it with a little bit of salt, took them out, hit them with a little bit of salt until all of them were done. Okay, so I'm about to eat my first one. So I grab it with a paper towel because it is still very hot. Hot oil stays hot for a long time. You take a knife, you cut it open, cut it in half, and make sure it's not too doughy. Because yeah, I just burned myself because, like I said, it's hot. Okay, it's hot. Make sure it's not too doughy. If it is doughy, you can just throw it back in the oil, let it cook for a few seconds. And I use provolone, I believe, smoked provolone. The traditional cheese would be Gouda. Like, my family will buy a huge block of Gouda and then just slice it really thinly to put it in between. But I don't have Gouda, so I'm using provolone. I'm using the provolone slices. I cut it in half. I put it in the Johnny cake. Let it melt for a few seconds and then enjoy. It's literally the best breakfast food, lunch food, dinner food. You can have it for any meal. It's so tasty. And yeah, that's how I made Johnny cake. And uh you can make as many as you want. It's literally the perfect thing for a huge gathering. Tasty, easy, simple, really tasty. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, because it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. This video took a long time to edit, so yeah, I really appreciate that. And you guys have a great day. Bye.